On today's episode, we talk about lions, dragons, and a very special guest drops in. Silver at PMDT, and welcome to episode number 10 of the PMDT Buyers Club. Today we thought we'd change it up a little. As you can see, I'm in my kitchen at home. I've got my brother beside me. In fact, Anjan, why don't you tell everyone who you are?
As you mentioned, I'm the younger brother out of the two, putting the beer to the side, and we've got 5 lovely stouts here today from around the world, going from Ireland, Japan, England, Jamaica and Sri Lanka as well. So there's a large variety on offer, so we'll see what each company differs and how they taste.
You guys are probably wondering why we're tasting beers tonight. Well, it's actually International Stout Day. Well, it's not International Stout Day, it's actually Wednesday. We're shooting the show one day before, but we thought, why not just, change it up a little bit and go and go with something different. So tonight we're having stouts. We've got a Guinness pie being made up in the kitchen as well. That's why we're shooting from the kitchen and not from anywhere else, because we don't want to set the house on fire. But why don't we get cracked into the first beer?
So first bottle here.
First bottle we've got is a Guinness Dublin Porter. This is some of you guys in the UK might have seen this. Guinness have got 2 new beers out. They've got 2 beers. One is this Guinness Dublin Porter, brewed from Brewer's Source 1796, and the other one is the West Indies Porter, which is also out. Now, what Guinness is trying to do, I think, with this is that they're trying to go with, they're trying to touch that Irish market, because there's a lot of Irish microbreweries that are making good stouts, good porters, and I think Guinness is trying to capture in on that market, and they've put out these 2 beers. I tasted the Caribbean one the other day. I wasn't too impressed, it was 6% alcohol, but I thought it was a bit too hoppy. So let's see how this Guinness Dublin Porter comes along. It's 3.8% alcohol. I don't know if any of you guys have been to the Guinness brewery down in Dublin. I've been. It's a wonderful tour, and if you ever go down to Dublin, it is a must-do tour. How does it smell?
Well, we got a bit of gas from the bottle when we opened it. It's not as opaque as Guinness as you normally get at the pub or in a can. The head, I'd say, is
it's a lot thinner.
It's a lot thinner, yeah, and it certainly looks slightly more gassy, I'd say. So
it doesn't have that creamy Guinness head that a lot of Guinness drinkers are used to.
So this is a recipe from 1796, and something that your great grandfather might have drunk. So let's see what we think about it now. What's it like on the head?
Getting a mocha kind of smell from the top. Roasted flavour coming from the top. What do you think?
Yeah, similar notes. Definitely.
Roasted kind of note coming from the top.
It's quite pleasant under the nose though.
It is.
Good. It's not overpowering.
It's not as hoppy as the Caribbean stout that we tasted the other day, is it? Which is very, very hoppy.
We'll see how that tastes now.
Let's have a taste of this.
Give it a go as well. Thankfully, we don't have to spit this out. We can drink it.
Yeah, no spit bucket today.
It's certainly refreshing.
What do you think? It has that signature Guinness taste, guys. The signature kind of Guinness taste of the roasted notes on the side. But yeah, I mean, one thing let's try this again.
It's quite light. It's quite light. I think it might be good after sport or something, because it's not kind of drowning you down.
Exactly,
it's not too thick and syrupy, so
it's not too thick and syrupy. Actually, maybe after sport, yeah.
Maybe on a cold day after football or rugby, something I don't play enough these days. That would be quite nice. So Dublin Porter, personally, I fancy this quite a bit. I'd say
it's a bit too thin for me. I could see myself drinking it after sport, like you say, but it's a little too thin for me. I want something a bit thicker, a bit more. That has a bit more bite to it. Almost what we say in the tea industry as a thin body to a cup.
Certainly.
That's more. That has more of a thinner body. So let's have a go at the next beer that we've got here.
Asahi Black, eh?
Asahi Black. This is a Japanese stout beer. It's from the Asahi Brewery in Japan. It was actually originally set up in Osaka, I think, in 1889. But this is a Japanese stout. It's only for the export market, it's not available in Japan, and it says here it uses the finest hops, roasted barley, rice and maize. It ranks in at 5% in alcohol volume, so let's give this one a go from Japan. Now, as you guys might have looked at on the last episode of the PMDT Buyers Club, we did a Gen My chart. I don't think this will taste anything like that, but I'm expecting a nice strong brew, hopefully. You know, it's 5% in value.
There's a lot less gas coming off when you open the bottle. It pours out similar, but maybe a little less head. Let's see how it finishes off.
Give it a bit more head on the top. Let's see.
Well, it's a lot thinner.
Lot thinner.
A bit more gassy as well. So
is that all?
That's not. Put a bit more. There we are. Very gassy. It almost looks like Coca-Cola. No offense to Asahi.
It does, yeah.
But I don't know what they put in there, but it looks more like Coke than
it looks
stout.
Like, yeah, you're right. It does look like Coke.
I mean, as far as opacity goes, about the same, I'd say.
I think the Guinness actually looks a bit thicker to me,
thicker,
but that almost looks like Coke. You know, it doesn't have much of a head formation to it. What does it smell like?
Well, it doesn't smell like Coke, that's for sure, thankfully. But it hasn't got that roasted smell as much as the Guinness, you could say.
Let's have a smell of this one.
That's what my first impression is.
A lot more of a ricey smell coming from it. You don't get that strong Guinness smell.
Sorry to mention, it does have rice in the ingredients. That's probably one of the reasons, maybe, why it comes out when it pours that way.
Very little head. Looks very thin on the body. I'm going to give it a quick taste. That's actually really nice. I think the rice and the maize make a big difference, especially on the side of your palate. You're getting a almost burnt rice flavour on the side, aren't you? Which is quite unique, actually.
It'll go well with savoury foods.
Yeah, I've never tasted that in a stout. That's quite a nice stout. In fact, I prefer that to the Dublin Porter.
It's got a good note at the back as well when you finish it. I like that.
You can taste the hops. You can also you're getting that burnt rice taste. But there's a lot more body to this, though. Don't you think? There's
Surprisingly, that's definitely more light when you drink it compared to the Asahi. So it's very surprising considering how it poured out and how it looks on the eye. Definitely tasting it is a whole different story. So
absolutely,
something we find in tea as well, I guess. You can't really judge a cup of tea from looking at it only. You have to use all your senses. So seems like it's the same with stout as well.
That is quite a nice stout. I quite like that. Let's go with the third one that we've got here. Now this is it's called Oyster Stout. It's not brewed in an oyster barrel or anything like that. I've seen a few Irish stouts that do that. It's just called Oyster Stout. It says it's an award-winning stout from Britain's premium cask brewer, Marston's, who are also the sponsors of the England cricket team, who are heading to Sri Lanka. Is it next month for a 5-match ODI series?
Sure.
So that'll be good to see. It says that it's a dark, glossy stout with a mocha-coloured head, which I'm looking forward to because I haven't been impressed with the two heads that we've already seen.
Yeah, I mean the gas has certainly escaped from the Asahi already.
Absolutely. Why don't you give this one a go? It's 4.5% in alcohol strength, so we're slowly going up. The Guinness Dublin Porter was, I think, 3.8.
Nice whiff of gas coming out. Not the type that we don't like. It was a lot thicker from the bottle there. A lot thicker. We'll see how the head comes. Not as much head. But yeah, a mocha coloured head, as you probably can see there.
That is very appealing to the eye, actually. That's probably, out of all three that we've looked at so far, that is the one that appeals to me so far, out of the three.
The smell of it now. I don't know what to call that, but it's certainly unique. In the stout world, what they call it. Certainly not on the tea Lexus.
I've got a bit of chocolate, a lot more of a fruity kind of.
Slightly fruity, yeah.
Slightly.
Bit
think of the actual. That's really going to annoy me now. I'm trying to think of the actual kind of the fruit for this, but it's you can get the chocolate. You can smell a fruit element to it. It's almost like kiwi fruit to me. You know, almost like when you cut a kiwi fruit.
I wonder what they've done to achieve that. To get that smell compared to these two. So
very nice smell. Let's give this Marston's a taste. That's very nice. A lot more smoother, a lot thicker actually in body, much thicker than the first two that we've tasted. Very, very smooth. And you're just getting a slight mocha taste, not too much. A little roasted coffee note in it as well.
That's a good Sunday pub drink.
That is a very nice.
It goes down your gullet quite nicely. It's like velvet.
It is, yeah. It is like velvet. Something on a Sunday. You know, if you've been for a walk with the dog and you've come into the pub to catch up with a few friends, this is the kind of brew that you want to have. I'm actually quite impressed with this Marston's Oyster Stout. Smooth, easy drinking, 4.5%.
It's certainly right, smooth and easy, yeah. I think that's
in alcohol volume. So if you guys are in the pub and you're looking for a different type of stout to try, give this Marston's a go. I'm actually quite impressed by this one. I'm going to give this another go.
Yeah, I'd say that sort of drink that you want to actually have with friends more. I mean, you could have the same with this as well, but I'd say that it's a bit too light and it's not got that traditional stout flavour.
Yeah,
so,
that's very nice, very smooth, very easy drinking. So guys, the next stout we've got here is Dragon Stout. It is from Jamaica. It's been brewed since 1920. I've never actually tasted this one. I'm looking forward to tasting this. It is 7.5% in alcohol volume, brewed in Jamaica. So I'm expecting some nice Caribbean flavours. I hope it's not too hoppy, but maybe this is more a stout for a nice summer day.
it might be quite similar to the West Indian stout that Guinness have made quite recently. So I guess you already tasted it. We can compare the two for flavours.
Pours very well.
Yeah.
Foams up quite nicely.
It's got a mocha head as well again, hasn't it? So
slight mocha head. The head isn't actually too thick on any of the stouts that we've looked at so far, you know. But let's give this a quick sniff. Much darker in colour, I think, than the others. Very very thick, almost tarry in colour. Oh, smell that. That is strong. You can really notice a big difference coming up from the Marston's, and the Marston's is 4.5.
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's much stronger. This is, I think, something that I would like to sit with and watch Test cricket.
The West Jerk chicken, it's got. You think it'll go well with very spicy
Caribbean flavours.
So maybe that's what it's been crafted for. So
let's give this one a go. In fact, it's in the Guinness glass, but remember, it's not Guinness. Guys,
oh yeah,
that is by far the best stout that we have tasted on this show so far.
Mr. Dragon Stout, you've done a good job.
Dragon Stout, that's thick.
That's what I like.
Full of flavour.
For me, that's what I want to drink if I'm drinking stout.
You know, if this was a tea, I would call it multi-mic. This big.
It's more at the start, but it's light at the end.
It's light at the end, but you're getting a wonderful roasted note. It's thick.
It's complex, I'd say. I'm surprised by how complex it is compared to the other three that we have here. So overall, I think it's more well-rounded as a stout.
As a stout, yeah. If you're really into stouts and you want to try something that's thick, that's strong, that has a lot more depth, a lot more character, a lot more flavour. I mean, this you almost get like a lovely mocha taste to it, isn't it?
And also, I think that it doesn't leave your tongue dry either, which is quite unique. Because a lot of these stouts leave your tongue quite dry, but it's very refreshing, surprisingly, even though it's very thick. So,
which is exactly what I found with the West Indies, with the Guinness West Indies Porter. I found that to always leave your tongue dry,
almost parched. And the thing is, you wouldn't think that, considering that it's built for hot weather.
For hot weather, exactly.
And you'd want actually a drink that refreshes you. So I think Guinness can take a leaf out of Dragon Stout's book in this case.
Absolutely. I'm really impressed by this Dragon Stout, and I think this is something that we'll be stocking in our fridge more often. So if you guys can get down, definitely have a go at Dragon Stout. Now the final stout we've got on the show today is actually going back to our roots. We had to include a bit of Sri Lanka in there. So we've got a beer from the Lion Brewery in Sri Lanka. This is a favourite of a lot of the tea community when they find themselves at one of the watering holes in Colombo on Tuesday or Wednesday night after tea auctions. And this is it. This is the Lion Stout from Lion Brewery.
It's a family favourite, I'd say.
A family favourite.
Shared over many tables.
It's a favourite of Michael Jackson, the famous bear hunter. And I don't mean Michael Jackson, the king of pop, but there was a Michael Jackson, the bear hunter, for anyone who wants to know. And he's actually mentioned on the back of the bottle, and there's a quote from him as well. And one thing I do like about the bottle is the actual marketing of it. You know, I love the bounding line forward. And
very regal.
Michael Jackson's quote is, "A soft, fresh and delicious top fermenting Lion Stout is bottle conditioned and has an extraordinary chocolatey mocha character." And he's known as the bear hunter, so we'll definitely link up Michael Jackson and his quotes into this episode here. So let's give this a pour and see how this one comes out. Much bigger head, look at that. Much bigger head, top fermenting. Very thick head on that one. Look at that. That is the Lion Stout from Sri Lanka. Now originally the Lion Brewery was actually located in Birgama, and I think it was founded by a chap called Sir Samuel Baker, who looked to build a brewery up in Norelia, where we get our Lover's Leap tea from, and it was mainly aimed at serving the British tea planters who worked up in the upcountry. So Lion Brewery do a few beers, but this is their stout. It's an award-winning stout, and one of my personal favourites, but let's give this one a go. First of all, you can see that there's a big thick head, probably the biggest head out of all the beers that we've tried today. You know?
It does look quite thick in the cup as well.
Very
well
thick.
Saying that, so I don't know if it translates into the camera, but it certainly looks thicker. About the same sort of thickness as the Dragon Stout, so maybe it's based on a similar recipe, who knows.
A lot of chocolate, a lot of mocha coming out of this one. Let's give this one a go.
It's a familiar smell for me, so good
Familiar.
times.
Very familiar. What do you think?
There's a reason why we buy it a lot. Because
There's a reason. I think there's a reason why it's been awarded so many awards through the industry as well. It's at 7.5% alcohol, guys.
You don't really get that flavour of alcohol coming through.
It's very easy drinking, but you get this big hit of mocha, chocolate, of coffee coming through in it. It's very nice. It's a lot thicker and tarier than the Dragon Stout, isn't it?
I would say so, yeah. I was quite impressed how, I mean, they're both complex, but I'd say this is much more lighter on the tongue when it finishes off.
Absolutely.
Compared to the Lion Stout. So I'd say that out of the 5 that I've tasted, for my tongue personally, I'd say these
absolutely.
two here.
I would go with either the Lion or the Dragon. There's a lot more here. I mean, for those of you who maybe don't like stouts, or try something down on this end, maybe something like the Asahi that's a lot lighter.
I thought it was quite unique though. I mean,
I thought it was quite unique as well.
Maybe if I'm feeling a bit different, I want to try something else, I'd probably choose the Asahi out of the 3 others. Unfortunately, the Guinness doesn't really match up to the quality of the other 4 that we got here, which is a bit of a shame because the first brand name that comes to your mind when you think of stout is Guinness.
It's Guinness, yeah.
Unfortunately, boys, you're not tickled or tick my boxes.
Absolutely, I'm actually going to agree with that. So why don't we rank these up? What would you go with first? What would be your ranking? I think it's really between these two, isn't it?
Well, for me,
first and second place.
Yeah, I'd say that Lion's familiar for me, so I'm going to take it for granted and put Dragon first because I thought it was something different that I thoroughly enjoyed tasting for once. I'll go Lion next personally. Then actually I'd go for the Asahi just based on uniqueness. I thought that it was nice trying something with a rice base actually. I thought that was a good idea. I mean, obviously coming from Japan, rice is a commodity over there. And then probably the oyster. I think that they tried to achieve something in between.
In between the two, absolutely, yeah, something.
But when you're kind of in between, sitting on the fence, you're really nowhere. So I'm sorry, Oyster, you're fourth, and then Guinness, as we said, is
down in
5. Oh, that's for me. How about yourself?
I'm going to go with something similar actually, but I mean I've just tasted those two. I really can't break. I can't choose between these two. I think it really comes down to how I'm feeling, how I'm feeling, and what I'm also eating. You know, I think
food's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If I was having curries at the end of the night, Lion given. You know, but if I was having, you know, maybe something Caribbean or maybe even something else, you know, and I just wanted something different, something as you know, your sort of wild card, I would go with the Dragon. So for me, both of these two would be joint. I don't know which side I put them.
So we've got a joint first.
Joint first.
Joint first on the left.
On that.
On the right hand side.
On the right hand side, I think I will go exactly what you said with the Asahi. It's so different because you've got the rice in here.
Exactly.
It's thinner on the palate. You know, it's thinner than these two.
Again,
yeah, let's just give that a try again. You know, but I like that burnt rice flavour that you get, which you don't get in any of these here. You know, and I think they've got maize in that as well.
I mean, it's nice trying a stout that actually is quite unique.
Yeah,
and I think that's what Asahi have achieved. I know it'll be to everybody's taste, particularly the guys and girls out there like more traditional taste. But if you want to try something different within the stout range, I definitely recommend that.
Absolutely, I think I would go with Asahi, and then the Oyster Stout. This is a good stout, by the way, and like exactly how Anjana said, it sort of sits on the fence. It's not here, it's not there. But it is an easy Sunday drink. You know, if you're down the pub, you've walked the dog, and you know you're sitting with your mates, it's a nice, mellow, easy drinking drink. And then at the end, Guinness, Diageo. The name when you think about stouts, you really think about Guinness. But this Dublin Porter, and also you know going back, the West Indies Porter hasn't really done it for me. I haven't been impressed at all, and I'm a big Guinness fan. You know.
Yeah, I think they made a lovely bottle. Granted.
Yeah, I love the bottle.
It's not all about the packaging, unfortunately. It's about how it tastes.
How it tastes, and I just think, you know, I mean, I've got a lot of Irish friends. Big up to Declan Paddy Quirk. I can't see us drinking this, buddy.
James Sharkey.
Yeah, you know, Isaac Nugent.
Oh, Isaac. Yes, Isaac.
Isaac Nugent. I just can't see, you know. I can't see us sitting with the paddies drinking this and enjoying it. You know, it doesn't have enough. It's not enough body. You know, I found the West Indies Porter had a lot more alcohol, but it was too hoppy. You know, and I would, if it's for a West Indies kind of thing, I'd definitely go with this. But if you're looking for a nice, you know, Irish sort of stout, there are a lot more smaller breweries that are producing good stouts out of Ireland. Definitely have a little look on Google. In fact, we'll link up a few on here that you guys can taste. But guys, here's our ranking. It's a joint for the Lion and the Dragon. We don't know who's going to win that fight. It's Asahi third, Oyster fourth, and then finally Guinness. If I was anyone at Diageo, I'd pick up my game because I don't think Arthur would be very happy about this. As ever, guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Next time, I'm actually going out on the road next week, so I don't know how we're going to load next week's episode, but I'll be shooting some pretty interesting things. If anyone is in Scotland, join me up at the Old Course Hotel where we'll be talking about the science behind how we make tea, which is running on Sunday and Monday up at the Old Course Hotel. And there's two events. There's a free event and there's also a paid event afterwards where you get to taste afternoon tea, well, the resort's award-winning afternoon tea with some of our top seasonal teas as well. So join us for that, and as ever guys, leave your comments in the comments section below, and I will keep up to date on Twitter. I'll let you know what we're going to do with next week's episodes, but if you miss any episodes, if we don't upload any episodes next week, there'll definitely be more the week after. As ever guys, thank you for watching and happy sipping. Cheers, bruv.